Okay, so I've got 7 p.m., which is 1900, 21st of October, 2025. This is LDR 340, Case Studies in Leadership for the University of Mount Olive. I'm Russ Jamison. I'm the instructor. Welcome to the first of 7 Zoom sessions that will occur for this course. These Zoom sessions are not mandatory. This is completely up to you if you want to attend. The purpose is to provide information and answer questions as uh, as needed. The purpose of this is solely to facilitate learning and to reiterate that if we're not having fun with this, then we're doing something wrong. Okay, so what I plan to do, nobody's joined just yet. I'm sure there's going to be some that will or want to. If not, I do record these and then post them up to a YouTube channel. I provide those links and uh, a brief recap of what is covered in the student lounge portion of the UMO, University of Mount Olive Moodle page for your course. In fact, I'm sharing my screen now. You should see it. This is your LDR 340 Case Studies and Leadership course page. Picture of the text, Case Study Handbook, 8th edition by William Mellett. It's a fascinating read. It's chock full of very solid information. It has some cases in it, but we don't necessarily take the time to cover those cases, in part because those are a little dated. It's easy to cover a case when you already know what the outcome is. That's more of a history than a case study. So we try to keep it a little bit more current. And that's why you are also to pick up the Wall Street Journal and read current articles. So we take current events and then we apply the case study method, the techniques, and the framework that Ella presents in this text. It teaches you how to analyze and then how to present the cases. Up front, it gives you 2 chapters on the case study approach, how it is, what it is, and how it works. And then it goes into analysis of 3 different ways so you could do a case study. I say ways, it's probably more of 3 different orientations or aspects of the case study approach. Those 3 are decision, problem diagnosis, evaluation. So when you look at a case, we decide or we look at a case and determine if what's going on in this case study is a decision that has to be made, the criteria under which that decision will be made, and the action plan, how to make the decision and implement it. Then you take a look at problem diagnosis. Again, the criteria that goes into diagnosing this problem. Think cause and effect, right? The effects of a problem and ultimately the cause of those effects is what we're looking at. Not unlike your doctor who makes a diagnosis and then applies treatment. If we have the diagnosis wrong, then even the best treatment isn't going to work and becomes a problem in and of itself. And then the third, the evaluation, again, looks at the criteria used as you match one thing up against another and then make a determination based on that, an evaluation. All 3 of these applies and is looked at in this case, and now no pun intended, in this course as what is the leadership aspects. Okay, so we're going to look at people because we're looking at leaders. We're going to apply what you learned in LDR 300 leadership, the foundational book. You've still got your text. Hold on here. So I'm going to duck out of the screen just for a second. Sorry, I wanted to pull mine out. We used this text, The Leadership Experience by Daft, and uh, this was obviously a solid text. This is in its eighth edition now. Prior editions are still usable. They're just slightly changed, but not major differences. But what you learned in LDR 300, I hope you kept a hold of this text. Certainly kept all your, I'm going to duck out of the screen for a second. Sorry, back just for a second. One more time. Sorry. Okay. I promise I'm not going to do that again. All right. So again, we're using the DAFT based text, LDR 300, as a foundation and is in fact a prerequisite for this course. So if you haven't had that course through LDR 300 or its equivalent, this is going to be a bit of a challenge again because it's going to be based on what you know and what you remember from that course. To be helpful in each of the modules, I've provided you PowerPoint presentations from the seated class that I used to teach. We've since moved all of those online, but it covers each of those chapters out of LDR 300 DAF text and helps, I guess, be more of a primer, if pronounced correctly, or maybe kind of jog the memory. But what we're after here is I want you to take a look at what is currently happening. Take what you read here out of the case study handbook, follow the model, and then focus on a leadership principle, trait, model aspect that comes out through that case or that example, that article from Wall Street Journal that you have selected. Don't make this too hard. It's certainly very easy. It takes some thought on your part because we're not doing scavenger hunts. I'm not going to ask you a question. You go hunt up the answer in the text and then regurgitate. That's not what this is about. What we're doing is we're going to take your some of your experiences and knowledge in leadership, focus in on each of those in a laser sharp type of focus, selecting one, and then apply it as best we can determine with the information that we have in the article that you've chosen. Hopefully, through this, it reinforces what you have learned in LDR 300, and probably more importantly, and even beyond the leadership coursework that you're going through, will teach you how to do critical thinking and how to do an analysis on something that's occurred or occurring. And this has application in all aspects of life, no matter the organization that you work for, represent, volunteer for, attend to, and or your own family life, what's happening on within your own home. The key on all this as well is to make sure that when we do pick these articles, if we reference a company, say for example, we picked an article that was talking about, uh, say, Cracker Barrel and what turmoil they went through a couple months ago, the organization as a whole, with their redesignating their logo and trying to revamp their restaurant ambiance, is we're not going to use Cracker Barrel in our analysis. In this sense, we're not analyzing Cracker Barrel. Yes, that's the organization. Yes, that's the case. But what I want you to do is I want you to pick out the protagonist in your articles, the main character, the person. And if we don't know, in this case, who that person is, then in, say, for example, again, the case of Cracker Barrel, if it doesn't name a CEO for us, I think, believe that was Julie Marino. Uh, Check me on that. I don't think I have it right, but off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember. But we want to pick the CEO or a major principal in that organization. Again, this is leadership and this is personal. This is a person. And what we're trying to do is determine what that person is doing or has done or should be doing in our framework of our studies. Okay. Um, through this all through this whole aspect of the course, I want you to remember something very critical, and that is the fundamental relationship, the one that matters the most, is your conclusion and the evidence that you use to support that conclusion. I'm a 3x5 type of person, and that means 3 to 5 reasons, 3 to 5 pieces of evidence, 3 to 5 bullets on a PowerPoint slide, if you will. Don't do so many that you lose focus and overwhelm yourself. In choosing the evidence to support your position, pick 3 to 5 reasons, pieces that you're going to use to base your conclusion on. In other words, if you can't use 3 to 5 to base your conclusion and then present it such in a compelling way that you make your argument, then something has happened that isn't going to turn out well, and we may have gotten lost in the sauce, so to speak. All right, I'm going to try not to use jargon. I tend to use metaphors in teaching. I like making references. I tend to reference a lot, certainly of movies. So, bear with me a little bit on that. If uh, if I ask you a question, I expect a response. If you have asked me a question or send me something, I will respond. That's basic courtesy, and that's what you're here to do for learning. My job is to get you through this. You'll do the work. The only way you fail this course is if you don't do the work predominantly. That's not to say you get every chance to make your answers wrong. I mean, there are wrong answers, but ultimately, this course is about thought process and what you come up with. I want to see what you come up. In leadership aspect, you and I can look at a situation, the same situation, determine the leadership principle involved, but be different. Certainly in how we looked at it, what the application is, or maybe we even have a different uh, pick, if you will, of the leadership principle involved, and that's fine. We'll talk that out. It's not to say one is right and the other is wrong. There are ground truths, no, surely, uh, but I'm truly interested in what you come up with and what you have to say. That's really the purpose of this course. Again, the difference between pedagogy, which is child learning, and andragogy, which is adult learning, is that in pedagogy as a child, we teach by rote memorization, a lot of lecture, a lot of memorization to get a foundation upon which you're later in life going to build with experiences. Uh, in adult learning, that's been flipped. Okay, we don't want to give you lectures. We're not going to give you rote memorization. I don't want you to be regurgitating what other people have said. what we want to do is present you the principles, the models, the theories, uh, the understood aspects, and you apply that with the framework of your experiences to date. You've got so much now in life experiences and in the billets, the jobs that you've had, the duties that you have, the responsibilities that you have. I hope this all makes sense. I know I'm talking a lot. I'm going to try to prevent that, certainly when others come on to the session. And again, this is not designed to be a lecture, but I'm certainly kind of doing that. So let me go ahead and get back on track here and show again based on my screen. We talked about the case study handbook, the text for this course. Uh, I do have a reclama to make. I owe you all an apology, and I appreciate one of your fellow classmates, uh, Ms. Myers, Olivia, for bringing this to my attention. But I had screwed up on the course pack that you will find on Harvard Business Publishing website. So I provided you a link in the syllabus and in Moodle for you to go online. And this gives you an option to buy the case study handbook from Harvard Business and or the case study coach, an online tutorial. I don't require you to buy the text from Harvard Business Publishing. Certainly, where you get the text is your business. Getting it through the University of Mount Olive bookstore, getting it through Harvard Business Publishing website, like I just referred to, going into Amazon, any of the used book online URLs or stores from a friend, or I'm presuming your local library or certainly the University of Mount Olive library has these in their inventory. So where you get the textbook is your business. But in that course pack on Harvard Business Publishing, where you get the case study coach, the online tutorial, I want you to take the tutorial. This complements and goes along with the handbook, and it is a reinforcing tool. You'll certainly want to complete it. I think you'll find it a very good, useful learning experience. And I certainly want you to finish it. I'm going to ask that you finish it before you attempt the final examination in the last week. You don't have to have this online tutorial done tonight. You don't have to have it done next week. You don't have to do it on a specified date, but I am going to ask you to have it done before you attempt the final exam. And enough said on that. Anyway, when you go on Harvard Business Publishing, there should have been the option for you as you bought the online tutorial, the case study coach, the option for you to also buy the text. That didn't happen originally on the link I sent you. I've since we've since expired that link and and rebuilt the course pack so it properly functions. And I posted the new link in the announcements for you. This is regrettable. I apologize for this error and for the aggravation and inconvenience it causes. For two of the students, I sent you a personal email and been told that your the money that you used to purchase has been refunded. And I did that and asked for that because I wasn't sure if you wanted both the handbook and the online tutorial at the same time. I didn't want you feeling forced to buy two handbooks, for example, or if you've gotten the handbook elsewhere. Instead of asking you like I should have, I went ahead and just had them cancel out those orders. That is going to cause a little extra work for you because it'll cause you to have to go back and reorder uh, certainly the case study tutorial, uh, case study analysis coach. Again, I apologize for that inconvenience. I certainly apologize for the aggravation. For those two students, I'll ask that you please go back in and reorder. And as you do that, I also ask that you please let me know when that refund hits so that I can ensure that the company did what they said they would do. Again, my apology. All right. So we started this course yesterday, Monday. The course week will go Monday through ending on Sunday evening at 23:59, 11:59 p.m. I used to say midnight, but that caused confusion because when it comes to midnight, we're not sure which midnight we're talking about, whether it's midnight tonight, meaning the 21st of October, or we're talking midnight tomorrow, and that means the 22nd of October. And so to cut out all confusion and make sure it was seamless, we end the course at 23:59, 11:59 p.m. on the date. So the end date is a little bit of a difference. Instead of ending on a Sunday, you'll notice 10 December is a Wednesday. Hence, that last week starts on a Monday and ends on a Wednesday. So it's what we would call a 7.4 week course. You start on a Monday night, and you can do that for 7 weeks. You start that last bit of time on a Monday and end on a Wednesday. So by Wednesday, 10 December, all work needs to be complete and in, and everything is taken because I have to get your grades in within 48 hours of that. And there's no messing around. So, we're on kind of our own timeline here. If you can't make a suspense date, in other words, there are times that I need you to have your work in by. If we're unable to do that because of an exigency, something out of your control, then we will work through that and accommodate accordingly. University of Mount Olive policy is there is no makeup work, no late work accepted, and no curves, no extra credit, nothing of that sort. With that said, the dean has given us adjunct professors, instructors, uh, latitude in working with each of you during the course. What do we mean by an exigency? Again, something that's out of your control. So if you're unable to get something turned in because you have faced an illness, you've been hospitalized, there's been a tragedy in the family that demands your attention, you have been called to duty. If you're in the military or a first responder, we had that last course or I'm sorry, 2 courses ago, this time last year, when we had people that had to deploy to Western North Carolina for hurricane relief, or you have faced such a hurricane that's knocked out your power and your ability to do the coursework. These are what we mean by exigencies. Uh, Not getting something turned in because we just didn't feel like it, or that we didn't get to it, or we forgot. It doesn't match up. Okay. If you know something's going to happen that's going to prevent you or cause some concern, one of the students in your course has already done that for me, alerted me to an issue that may cause an issue or a problem. I want you to let me know. Up front, it's easier to accommodate and come up with a plan than it is to react. We certainly don't want to wait until 10 December to all of a sudden have what I call an oh shoot moment and realize that we're missing work and now we've got an issue and a problem, particularly as it relates to a grade. Okay, thank you for listening for that. I appreciate it. As we scroll down, this is the announcements page. This is where I will post the weekly instructions. I post those usually on a Friday. It covers the following week, what's to be read, what's to be worked on. There's some other pieces of information I put out there last night or yesterday. You noticed there was a problem with a lot of different web services. That turned out to be an Amazon Web Service issue, global outage, which was unique, but I think has since been corrected. It seems to have been resolved. This is where I tell you that there's the new leak for that case analysis coach. Anyway, so check these announcements every time you log in, please. Okay, course acknowledgement. This is worth 10 of your points. During this course, the total points possible is 1,010. We grade on a 1,000-point scale. Each piece of assignment that you turn in comes with a requisite or a certain amount of points, and the grading is based off of those points that you've attained at the end of the course, just like any other class you've had. But please go in here. I'm going to ask that you please do this before tomorrow night, Wednesday. Again, there's that infamous 2359 at 11:59 p.m. Please get it done. Just go in and make sure you've read the syllabus, that you understand it, and that you acknowledge the terms of the syllabus. And I give you the statement to put in, please. If anybody has an issue or a problem with this, please contact me. Let me know. In contacting me, I'm going to ask that you please try to do it through Moodle. There's a place in the student lounge for you to contact me if you're having an issue. You certainly can send me an email. That's certainly a form of communication that is acceptable. Please understand in Moodle and in those emails, you may not get an instantaneous response. In other words, I don't just sit on my email, and it may take time for me to clear out enough time and space to respond, but I will respond certainly within 24 hours. If this is of an urgent nature, an emergency, in the biography and in the Meet Your Professor, I give you my cell phone number, and that is certainly uh, for you to use. I'm going to ask that you use that if it's of an urgent or emergency. Uh, Again, I don't necessarily sit on that phone, but it is something that I attend to a little bit quicker than email for obvious reason. If you send a text or call me at 3 in the morning, I will respond. I might be a little cranky, but please understand it is there for you to use. Okay. All right. Attendance and participation is laid out here for you. I'm not going to read this. This is for you to read. Just understand that attendance is taken based on activity and not simply because you've logged on and viewed Moodle content. You have to actually do some work or engage me in a dialogue, email nature maybe, in order to count for attendance. There is no late in an online course. You either do the work or you do not. So that's that. Participation is more than just being present. It is evidence of participation that you've actively participated in the group discussions. At a minimum, you've made comments on 2 other student postings for that week. We want relevant comments and questions that are aligned. So your post that says, hey, this is a great job, I agree completely, is not quite what I consider participation. We certainly want you to engage, okay? And then obviously submission of work. Okay. I take attendance on Sunday evenings. That's a requirement across the University of Mount Olive based on your work and on your participation. Okay, so here are your modules. You've got upfront start here module, which I ask you to go through and see. It's a welcome letter, provides you information about me, and also links into the syllabus. It tells you what the grading criteria is and what the student learning objective, program learning objectives, student learning objectives are. Okay, Student Lounge is where you would have found the link for this Zoom session. This is what I was also talking about within the framework of where to contact me. This is the Ask for Help form. This is also designed for you to just ask for general help, putting it out there and seeing if a fellow student knows the answer and responds to you. Uh, Believe me, if you've got a problem or an issue, chances are so does your fellow classmates. So try to use this if you will. And again, 24-hour response from me, and my number is provided. I'd like you to introduce yourselves. Do that in this forum. A number of you already have and have done some great job getting some tremendous insights. I think when I last checked, it was 6 of you have already done it. There's 13 of you in the course, so please do that. Here is a forum for your use. I will not be on this forum. This is between you and your fellow students. I will tell you that I will occasionally view the forum to make sure it's being used properly with propriety. But this is yours. Okay, here's where the Zoom information is. This is where you'll find the links for these sessions. And when they're scheduled, again, I do them Tuesday evenings at 1900. Here is where you will find the posted Zoom sessions that have already transpired. So as soon as I hang up, using the whole term, showing my age. As soon as I end this session, within a couple hours, you'll see it posted here. And your student handbook and some other items for your use. Okay. All right. Coming out of that, going back into the modules. Tech support, this is where you'll find Moodle assistance. So if it's a problem with Moodle, I appreciate you informing me, but I cannot resolve it for you because I have limited Moodle administrative, rights. We'll have to ask you to self-heal, if you will. There's password reset that you can do on your own. And there's the link in here to the help desk. Miss Joyce Devonshire and her crew do a phenomenal job, very quick turnaround. And if they can't fix it, it's unfixable. So again, try to use that. All right. Your modules 1 through 7.4. Okay, or I guess total of 8. All right. What the module is, or trying to cover, the chapters of the text to which to read, and the dates of that week. I won't go into the battle rhythms on these. You've already seen that in depth, but I will show you that you get an overview, what the objectives are, your to-do list, what you have to do, read, and what I want you to accomplish. And here are the things you have to accomplish, your discussion. So when you do your student article, you go in here and take a look, and this tells you what I want you to do, and then post it. I'm going to ask that you post it here so that we can facilitate the discussion. Other students can read what you've done and make their response. But I'm also going to ask that you upload it here so that I can properly assess and grade it. And we have a record of what you've done. Okay. So I know that's double work. I hope that's not too onerous. I don't think it is. But yes, your work is your work done once, but uploaded here to the discussion forum and here so that it can be properly graded. Okay. I choose an article once a week and we'll post those. You will do your analysis and answer that. And I've already got the article pulled for this particular week. Okay. Then at the end of all this, sorry, as I scroll through, this is those class slides I was alluding to from LDR 300. You'll find this.
Incoming call
I'm
from
sorry here.
866
Alexa, volume
520.
0. I apologize for that interruption. Again, I apologize for that interruption. I'm getting a lot of spam calls lately. I hate that. Okay. Anyway, you will find these class slides in each of the modules and use them as you wish. Just understand there may be some information that's dated in there, so it could possibly not be relevant or current, uh, but it's in the whole, it's a good resource. Again, I'm hoping that you've kept your text from LDR 300 and used that. Okay, each of those modules is laid out the same. Uh, Module 4, week 4, is going to add the midterm exam. And module 7.4, week 7.4, will add the final exam. Okay. Uh, Midterm is cumulative just for those weeks, 1 through 4. So the information from chapters 1 through 6. Okay. And then the final is not cumulative in the sense of the entire course. The final will cover what you learned in module 5, obviously chapters 7 and 8 through chapter 11. Okay, so they'll do 3 weeks of work to the fourth week, take the midterm. They'll do 3 weeks of work into the 7.4th week to take the final. If that makes any sense. Your final paper's due here at week 7. Again, I'll talk more about midterm final exams in that final paper later, but I've got the information in there and I place that information in the weekly instructions to help you out. At the end of the course, there's a course summary and evaluation where you have a chance to do your questionnaire. I'm going to ask you to do that. Believe me, these are all read. They're read by the dean. They go to the dean before they come to any of us, the professors, and the dean determines what and what he will not cover with us or she will cover with us, depending on the case at hand. Like you, I don't think you want to wait until the end of the course to find out how you did. You want to know as we're going through, and I will do that. The first form and the primary form of feedback is in your grade. Okay. And I will grade your work within 24 hours, mostly. If there's not, then something has occurred, but I will attend to it because I know how important it is. I will provide other feedback as well. If I see you're struggling, I will certainly provide more feedback. If you have aced that requirement, if you've gotten 100 or 98, then there's little feedback I could give you beyond that that would be probably of substance or help outside of saying, hey, what a great job you've done. I don't hand out grades, you earn them, but I recognize good work when I see it. Okay. Uh, but anyway, if you've got an issue with the course, that's certainly where we want you to do it in the course evaluation. Certainly, your recommendations for making the course better as it relates to the framework, the text, and that such. If the issue is me, then I hope we talked about it before it became a problem and that you give me an opportunity to fix it if it is my problem instead of waiting until the very end. I know you would appreciate that courtesy if the roles were reversed, and I'm going to ask it the same. Believe me, I've got a thick skin. I do listen, and I will own it on my mistakes. If If it's an issue that's bugging you, then let's talk it out so that I can at least give you the perspective that I have and and tell you what I think the deal is. Okay, I appreciate that. All right. Um, Normally these cut off at about the 45 minute mark on these Zoom sessions. So it's 7:40. I'm going to wind up here in just a few minutes. So if it does cut off, it is, let me take this opportunity to tell you what a pleasure it is having you in class. I really am excited about it. Again, if we're not having fun with this, something is wrong. But we're going to take a serious approach. This is a lot of money that you're spending on, and you deserve a professional, focused uh, effort on my part, and you will get that. I want to say I look forward to working with each and every one of you over the next 2 months. Some of you I've already had in previous classes, and it is awful good to have you in class again. I really am excited about that. And for those of you that I have not yet met, or this is our first go together, I am equally excited to learn more about you and to see what you come up with. I read everything that you submit. I will tell you that up front. And so I'm again looking forward to what you come up with. All right. I think I've covered just about everything that we can. Well, I should tell you on the grades. So on the grading, you should have a grader report that covers what will be graded. These will populate as work is submitted. But I want to show you. Uh, let's pull up real fast. I know what we'll do. Let's go into course where we go into assessment to show you that 1010 point scale. These are the PLOs and the SLOs, program learning objectives, student learning objectives. Your MLOs, module learning objectives, are each of the modules. But here's where we talk about assessment. Here's where you find the course acknowledgement worth 10 points, 0.01. Here's your discussion forum worth 20%. I'm sorry, 20% of your grade. Here are those instructors selected. That's 30%. Here's your leadership case study. That's 30%. And then exams are 20%, midterm worth 10, and final worth 10%. Okay. Here are your point values. So course acknowledgement is 10. Acknowledgement is 10. Sorry, I couldn't get that word out. Your total for discussion board is 200, divided equally, obviously, into each week. Your instructor chosen article, weekly homework, is 300 points. Again, divvied out equally. Case study leadership paper, 300 points. Okay, so we've got to get that paper right. And there's some instructions in there I want you to attend to. You're going to pick the organization you write about. You're going to let me know what that is here in the next 2 weeks, please. And then here's your 200 for the midterm and final exams. So total of 1,010. So 930 to 1,010 is an A, and then on down so forth. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about D's and F's because I don't anticipate any in this course, certainly. Okay. All right. Again, 7:44, we're going to get cut off. So I'm going to come out of this. I'm going to wind up this session. Again, I will post this here in just a few minutes. May take about an hour or two to fully properly load. And again, look forward to it. All right. Have a good evening.